Today we are on Badwater. I've created this empty server so I can show you sentry placements. And I'm pretty sure most engineers out there have the problem with, well, where do I set my sentry? Well, starting off, no one's going to know where their sentry is going to be located. When it comes down to it, it's all based on what your team has and what your team needs. If you're playing competitive, you're going to have 9 of V9. It's going to be 1 of each class. So you know what your team has and what your team can do. But in public games, you could have many of one class, many of no class. You could have many of nothing at all. Spies and snipers, they're not going to work all the time. Yeah, I know. It sounds ridiculous, but it happens. So, big thing we're going to learn today is Badwater Part A. Now this will be 4 videos long, starting from point spawn to A capture. Next video will be A to B, then B to C, and then C to D. And this is all taking perspective of Red Engineer, defensive positioning. This is covering level 3 sentries, so a wrench, not a gunslinger, an actual wrench. And this is going to take coverage of public games and competitive game placement. I'll be showing you examples of the distance your guns can reach and what you can overlook with your Wrangler. Now this is meant to be a guide. This is not 100% foolproof. It's not 100%. It's all based on your team's play come public games and competitive games, because you might be outskilled in competitive, or you might be just overrun by a heavy class stack on public game. This is a guideline. There is no 100% perfect sentry nest or sentry positioning. So we'll start out with the competitive over the cliff. Now this position can be a bit tricky, but you set up your gun right here. Now, for your dispenser and teleporter, you'll have them along this wall somewhere for your allies to cover. Since you're in competitive, you're going to have a pyro up here, your heavy, your medic, and your demo. Your other classes will be roaming around the other part of the map over there, so enemies don't get close to you, or they'll be covering down below here,
60 seconds.
where enemies may try and flank through. However, our sentry gun covers down below and over at the cliff ledge. And with our Wrangler, we can deter snipers and soldiers from coming one way, and we can deter demo men with level 3 rockets down below, so if he tries to spam up. However, we can also deter him with a shotgun.
30 seconds.
We can also deter jumpers from the air, and we can help push back Ubers that come around the cliff ledge that try and target the sentry. Now the first thing you should notice when setting up the sentry is the range that it covers. As you can see, it covers a great deal.
5, 4,
and it's not just with there. It can cover over to that cliff ledge pretty well too. Cliff ledge in competitive is very, very vital to hold.
Building a sentry.
However, if you try holding this ledge in public games, you'll end up with a few problems. If your team isn't protecting the sentry up here, it's going to go down very fast.
5, 4,
if your team is too busy down there or over there, any demo man or soldier using this cliff face can easily get some spam at it. But if your team is holding up here, you hold a great deal of ground with this one sentry. Because as an engineer, you can cover ground with your Wrangler, you can cover close up with your shotgun, and you have your wrench to keep your buildings going. Now when it comes down to the pit down here, your other teammates have to help with clearing that out. Now this also plays in with a little extra here. As you can see, my Wrangler does not aim down when my sentry is located like this, with the tripod back facing towards the cliff. So if I pick it up, change its angle here, you'll see I still can't quite reach it.
Moving out.
So if I set my gun like so,
I'm moving this.
gotta get right close to the edge here.
Go on, get.
Then I can aim down a lot further with my gun, whereas before I could only aim out to here. This here gives me more chance of a rocket splash on enemy demo men. So this is spot 1 for competitive, and this is the main competitive spot. You will not really use any other spot for Comp TF2 engineering.
Moving out.
Our next spot, which is a favorite public classic, is right behind these rocks here. As you can see, I have a great view of the cliff, but I have no view of the cart except for when they're over there, or when they're passing by here. But when they're here, it's too late. Now, the thing about this sentry position is it is very easily spammed out. Demo man comes along, a few stickies over top, stickies to the side. Soldier can easily strafe for a few rocket splash damage there. Or sniper, direct hit soldier, spy, anyone with aim can shoot it from over here. But that's where a Wrangler comes in handy for this ledge. You can target all along it for a good angle at whoever's on that side. However, there's a lot of downsides here. If you get trapped in here, your only way to escape would be climb these rocks, which can be quite unpredictable at some times, unless you've mastered climbing them.
Mission ends in 60
or
seconds.
running out into the fire. You really don't have much choice. On top of it, it's great for spies to get in here if this area is not blocked. So if I set a dispenser here, I trap my route a lot to getting out quickly. But in doing so, I also make it harder for a spy to get in here himself.
Mission ends in 30 seconds.
If he does get in, however, and I want to back out, I'm going to have some really difficult times. Same with if I'm out here and he's in there, I'm going to have more difficult time trying to get in after him. It's a double-edged blade, but it's a classic that holds anyone trying to just walk over this hill.
5, 4, 3,
Overall,
2,
it's a fair sentry place.
victory.
This sentry placement could use a bit more work, but it's still a fair classic. Our next sentry place is down here underneath the cliff, near the end of the tunnel. Now, as you can see, the range of my sentry covers what's up above me, only to a degree. If people come through the tunnel, yes, they're going to get shot to a point. I don't want to leave this gun in the open so it can be spammed from the other end of the tunnel. But behind this ledge, right against this cliff, is going to be easily spammed out by anything that can corner it. So pyro with its flames, heavy jumps out with a minigun, it's going down instantly. You're not going to have a chance.
4, 3, 2, 1.
So the placement you'd be looking for would be right here.
Going up.
Covers the upper cliff ledge. It can't be edged by pyros or heavies. However, a demoman or soldier can still take it out, but they're built for this technique. They're built to take out sentries in general. However, this leaves me open to any spies jumping off the cliff. And the spies guy jumps down, gets behind me, sentry gun's toast. Doesn't matter, I'm dead, it's going. So unless you're paying attention to the cliff ledge the whole time, you're most likely going to be stabbed here. On top of it, if you're looking up, something's probably coming down that tunnel, and you're going with your sentry gun as well. This place is very little desired unless you have teammates covering that upper cliff ledge. Then at that point, all you have to worry about is this tunnel, this corner here, where spies may try and decloak. A good set of headphones is always recommended when playing engineer. Wear them, use them, practice listening to cloak sounds. You'll get used to it and adjust to all the other sounds. However, you may not get used to the sounds of your sentry gun and massive fire going off at the same time when the spy strikes, which is a better time when you can't hear him. Your big concerns from here after these close encounters is far over past the point. However, if your team is holding the cliff up there and this back area, you shouldn't have to worry about it too much. But if it does, take your Wrangler with you and you can cover a great deal of that area. You can't get all of it, but you can get a great deal of it. You can also stop jumpers from coming up top and aim for people trying to spam out your sentry from here. Now, when it comes to your dispenser, you'll want it along the cliff ledge for extra metal, because that 100 metal ammo pack isn't going to help you very much. However, if you keep it near the health pack, you still have access to the ammo pack if you need a quick boost because your dispenser's out of metal. Overall, this area is fine if you have teammates who can cover ground. If their deathmatch is fine, you'll be able to control the tunnel by yourself. If they start coming through the tunnel, don't be afraid to call down some assistance, so you take watch of up above while they deal with what's in the tunnel. It's a fair trade. However, in public games, this is very difficult unless you're doing it with friends or people who are communicating via mic or mumble or whatever chat system you may be using.
Mission ends in 60 seconds.
Lastly, a position that is highly unstable. Placing your gun underneath. As you can see, my sentry's limited vision is straight ahead.
Building the sentry.
With a straight ahead vision, it makes it very difficult to actually kill something. You literally have to wait for your targets to come along,
Mission ends in 30 seconds.
jump down, and get shot. And if they're smart enough, they'll come along with the bomb crouched behind the bomb where the sentry can't even shoot them. So this place has very limited sights. It's a terrible
Mission
engineer's
ends in
nest
10
area.
seconds.
It's okay if you have a sentry over here, sentry above.
Victory.
It's just terrible, to put the least. If you're new, yes, I can see you putting it up here thinking, oh, I've got the point covered. See, as you can see, if it's placed in here, it's not going to do much. Even at the edge here, it can still be easily spammed out. Soldier or demo man come along, a heavy drops down, that sentry is going down. This area, not a great engineer spot. In a public game, it's great if you come along, pull out your exit, drop it, go. This is a great safety area for your teammates for an exit for the porter. You got a wall again that you can set it up against so spies can't get their back. They have shelter from any spam from above except for what drops down. And then when they come out, by the time they get up here, their teleport trail's gone or only going to be there for a second or two, leaving the enemy to wonder, okay, do they have a teleporter? Unless they're paying much attention, they're not going to notice that teleporter. But a sentry gun, it's just too easy to destroy. Even with a Wrangler, I can cover a bit of a hallway and whatever's in front of me. That's not very good. A spy comes along, a spy can get in here easily too. Get behind you, stab. However, if you're constantly like this, yeah, a spy's not going to come in, but a spy will just come up, zap, 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 zap. Eventually the gun's going to go down, you're going to get tired of zapping, or he's going to finally just take out his gun and shoot you. Overall, sentry gun position here, not very good. If you're new to engineering, please don't use this spot. If you have not seen this video and you place it here, I'm definitely going to recommend you to my channel to come watch this and see how bad and the pros and cons to it. So we have one last sentry spot to look at. Now this is a weird one. It's a good surprise, but after a bit everyone's going to get where it's at. That's right here. As you can see, I have a great view. If I pick up the sentry here, you can see it covers quite a bit. However, the only place it doesn't cover is over this cliff. But if it's facing over this cliff, it's going to be easily destroyed. So if you set your sentry somewhere along here, be prepared for a direct hit soldier just to take it out ASAP. With here, you cover along the cliff ledge, so no enemy flanks there. You cover along the side there, no enemy flanks. Anyone jumping or landing in front here gets it. And you, with your Wrangler, you can cover a bit over the cliff ledge for anyone attempting to jump. However, there's a big downside. Snipers, just right along there, you're a sitting duck. So, right there, sitting duck. Demo man spam, you can't counteract them if he's standing there. Demo man spam from along this part of the cliff ledge, easy enough. And demo man spam coming from over the rocks. This position is held good if you have a team covering the flanks here and a bit of that cliff ledge. Now for a spy to come through here is easy. He can cloak up here, uncloak here. He can see your gun. If he wants to, he can shoot right through it. He can shoot right through the hill. So you can see I can get my laser dot through there. I mean, he can come along and pistol away. or even a sniper up on that ledge can shoot through the crack and get you too. Overall, this is a mediocre spot. This spot,
Mission
not
ends
really
in
worth
30
building.
seconds.
Better than our previous spot underneath the overhang, but still not the greatest spot. And that's all the main sentry positions of point spawn to A. So,
Mission ends
I hope
in
this
10
helps you.
seconds.
Like, comment, subscribe, share,
3,
and enjoy your engineering.
1.
Thanks for watching.
Victory.
Let's build something in the next one.